Okay, here we have Nikki, who is doing first level test 3, which is an absolute beast of a test. Coming down the center line here. Overall, good quality halt. I'd like to see the next day down, but that's fine. As we step off into the trot, Nikki's taking a little bit too much onto that left inside rein, which caused the shoulders to fall a little bit to the right. A little more right rein would have helped with that, but I liked the little bit of flexion before you turned at C. That was excellent. Good. So as we come across the diagonal line, I like the half halt at X. But Nikki, you need to push a little bit more, making sure that that lengthening goes all the way to F at the end of the ring. You kind of eased off the gas coming to the corner here. Good. The dreaded leg yield. Good. Would like to see a little more left bend, and here the shoulders are falling a little bit too much to the right. It's so hard when you're leg yielding, thinking about not taking up too much on the inside rein, but if you would have been a little softer with the inside hand and a little stronger with the inside leg, the shoulders wouldn't have fallen so drastically towards the right. Don't be afraid to, during this second leg yield here, Nikki, change the bend a little bit before S, so you properly start the first step of leg yield at S. That'll make you feel a little less rushed trying to get all the way over to the center line. Here on this circle, you have a little bit too much inside bend, and she's trying to twist in the pole and flex a little bit to the left. So making sure that, if you set that flexion a little bit towards the inside with the inside hand, you've got to back it up with a little more inside leg so she doesn't twist the nose towards the outside. Here in the stretching circle, I know she's not going around like a bloodhound with her nose in the dirt, but there are glimpses of really lovely stretching here. I like that she's able to relax in the top line. It really sucks that she hates the bugs as much as she does. That's annoying. Good. Making sure your fingers stay closed so the reins don't get too long. Now here in the downward transition, she hollowed in the back and her hind legs almost fell completely off her body. Making sure that you are thinking forward into the downward transition. That'll give her back a little more stability so the back stays lifted and the hind legs come under in the downward transition. Other than that, I really like the swing in your free walk, making sure that the nose stays out in front of the vertical. But other than that, I like the free walk a lot. Yeah, a little more forward in that upward transition, keeping the contact as you drive her both into trot and then into canter. I see her, she's looking for the contact. Make sure your fingers stay closed and both legs stay on. Good. Here, I like how the inside rein is soft, but it could be a little bit shorter. A little more left leg support for the 15-meter circle. Other than that, not bad. So here's a trick that I love taking into the show ring, especially on these canter lengthenings, which this one was a little conservative. You could have really gone for it a little bit more. Asking for a little bit, like a baby bit, of shoulder 4 when you're cantering down the long side away from the judge gives a lovely illusion of straightness, so it doesn't look like she's pushing her hind legs towards the inside. Now here over X, over the center line, that's another great example of her needing to travel more forward in the downward transitions. We watched her back drop and her neck go up in the air. She needed a little more activity with the hind legs, a little more forward going into the downward transition, as crazy as that sounds. Here she needs a little more outside rein support, especially as we start this 15-meter circle. We see that she's trying to twist the nose a little bit to the left. She's pushing through the left shoulder. She's leaning in on the circle. She needs a lot more inside leg support, and she is looking for the support of the outside rein. This lengthening I liked a little bit better. Nicely done, Nikki. Good. She could have used a little more support in the corner. She broke a little bit early, but I can sympathize because that first level test 3 canter tour is long and it's hard. Keeping the contact because she's looking for it. She's taking her nose out because she's looking for your hand. But you did a much better job here riding the lengthening from the first corner to the second corner. You didn't ease up the gas. Nicely done. Here, the center line isn't super straight. There you go. You've kind of evened it out. And a nice halt. Nicely done. So, overall notes, thinking again, forward in the downward transitions, so her back stays lifted and her hind legs step underneath her. I know it sounds really counterproductive. I know you probably think, oh, I want to slow down because we're about to change gears into a lower gait, but she still needs a little bit of that support from your lower leg to continue thinking forward even as she changes gears. Other things to think about, being able to bend without her ribcage collapsing towards the inside of your figure or her shoulders falling out. So can you have her bend with the ribcage lifted and the shoulders properly in your outside rein? Another thing to think about is the same thing with flexion, being able to make sure that where she's looking from the pole forward, if she's bending to the left, we need to make sure that she flexes towards the left. When she bends right, she needs to flex right. A couple times we saw that whenever she was actually tracking direction right, she could be bending around your right leg, but she's trying to twist the nose towards the outside to flex a little bit to the left. So again, making sure that proper bend is set up with the inside leg. You're supporting her on that outside rein. If you need a little bit of, let's say, a playful inside rein, like a playful inside hand that's maybe has to massage the bit or kind of has to massage the rein a little bit to help with that inside flexion, that's fine. But thinking that whatever you set with your hand, you have to back up with your leg. So if you do have to rotate that inside wrist a little bit to unlock her in the pole to make sure that she flexes in the proper direction, you do need to be able to back that up and maintain that flexion with the inside leg. But other than that, the test looked pretty good. Nicely done.